Hello everybody, I hope you're having a great day. Take a look at these cheddar biscuits, or just cheese biscuits. It doesn't have to be cheddar. They're delicious and they go great with any meal. I especially like them during the evening meal. Let me show you how to make them. They're really easy. You start with 1 cup of regular all-purpose flour. I'm using white wings today. And I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, and then 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now after you put that in, you need to give it a good stir, get everything well distributed, just like this. Next we need to add some butter. We need to incorporate this into the flour mixture. And I know there's a couple of ways to do it. You can use a pastry cutter or you can use a cheese grater, and I've used both, but I just like doing it by hand. Now if I had to grate the cheese in order to make this today, I would probably just use the cheese grater to grate the butter in. But since I already have cheese that's been grated, I'm going to go ahead and do it the old-fashioned way. And I really like doing it. It reminds me of the way Grandma used to do it. Saw her do this many times, and it's not hard. You just squeeze those little pieces of butter and make slivers, flakes. Works great. Get them all incorporated in. And you don't have to make them very small. Just want to break them and squeeze them. About like that. Not hard at all. I'm only making enough biscuits for 2 really, so it's not that big a deal. And next we want to use cheese. This just happens to be cheddar cheese, but the last time I made these, I used what was called, Fiesta mix. It was a mixed cheese, white and yellow cheese. It worked great. So we want to get that cheese coated and separated in the flour mixture. Just kind of toss it a little bit like that. And then you want to make a well in the middle of your bowl there so that you can put the buttermilk in. We're going to use 1/2 cup of buttermilk. So it's 1/2 cup of buttermilk to 1 cup of regular all-purpose flour. And then we want to give it a bit of a stir. You just kind of turn it around a little bit. This is just the beginning process because we're going to use our hands to really get it mixed together. But you don't want to over mix it. So you just gently kind of turn it over, get it started. And then you go ahead and get ready and use your hands. Make sure your hands are nice and clean, of course, and mine are washed. And we begin to press it down and turn it over, trying to get all of the dry flour and cheese to pick up. Trying to get it together. See, we work it like this, just very gently. I'm not compressing it very hard at all. Just a light turn. It's really easy. Now I have about 3 or 4 different biscuit videos, and in each one I do things a little bit different each time to show you that there's more than one way to make great biscuits. This time I'm not going to use wax paper, which is something I use pretty regularly, and just going to use it on the countertop. And we pour that out and we begin to press it together, get it working together. You can see how much flour still hasn't been incorporated, flour and cheese. Just give it a light press, not pressing it very hard, still trying to get it to pick up the dry and work it in. Just gently press it, turn it over. It's very easy. Now if I noticed it was sticking to the countertop, I would dust a little more flour, but it seems to be just about right. It's not really sticking, but it's picking up. Now you can see I've kind of made it in the shape of a burrito, and we're turning it over and folding it and just gently pressing it out, but also creating layers. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my biscuit cutter out so I can tell how wide I want to make this. My first cut, I want to make 3, and so I'm going to go ahead and just press this out and keep it at the right width and work on the length. And of course you want the thickness to be as even as you can get it. I'm not using a rolling pin. I always just do it by hand like this. So work it. Now let's see. 1, 2. Oh, not quite long enough, so I'll press it out just a little bit more. Nothing to it. Press it out. Just use your hands. It makes good therapy, by the way. It's always good to create something, to use your own hands, to either build or make something of value. And what's more valuable than a good meal? 1, 2. Oh yeah, that'll work just right. All right, let's make these. Cut number 1, you push straight down. You don't want to twist it because it kind of seals the sides. And there's 3 nice biscuits. I need to put some butter on this bake pan. Here, let me get a little bit. Just going to be putting them in the middle, so there's no need to do the entire pan. Put these on. I think everyone needs to know how to cook because everyone needs to eat. We'll pull this back together, make a couple more. Get it the approximate depth or thickness that the others are, and a quick cut with the biscuit cutter. If you don't have a biscuit cutter, you ought to go ahead and invest and get you a biscuit cutter. It just makes life easier. And instead of cutting this one, I'm going to go ahead and try and pick up some of that loose pieces of cheese and just shake this into one final larger biscuit so there's no waste. Usually you want to cut the sides so they rise up, but in this particular situation, using the cheese, it kind of weights it down, and these aren't going to rise up as much as they would if we didn't have all this cheese. I'm going to put some cheese just right on top, just like this, and the cheese on top and the cheese inside. It's going to kind of weight them down a little bit, so we're not going to get that big rise that biscuits without cheese would have. Anyway, let's put them in the oven. I've got it preheated to 425 degrees. We're going to put them in. These will go about 14 minutes, but you have to just watch them. This is how they come out. Beautiful. You notice they haven't risen like a regular biscuit would, but I assure you they are delicious. Oh, nice and cheesy. Take a look at this. What do you think? Now, would you eat this or not? Piping hot, tender and moist. Delicious. Take a look. Just kind of open this up. All that cheesy goodness in there. And that little bit of chicken bouillon gives it just a little hint of extra flavor. And you really can't put your finger on it if you don't know what it is. Anyway, I hope you like this recipe, and I hope you give it a try. Cheese biscuits are outstanding. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye now.